Did you know that the average human attention span shrunk by nearly a quarter in just 15 years? Now sitting at around 8 seconds, which means it's less than a goldfish. This startling statistics isn't just a wake-up call, it is a siren that blurring me across the digital landscape, especially telling you how your clients are being distracted from left and right, which means your client's way of consuming information and processing information, engage with this information has changed significantly. Now, as we go on year by year, how can we scale your healthcare business more effectively in this noisy landscape? So now how can we scale your company more effectively with the wrong content and information for you to be able to stand apart and not get drowned out in this digital age?
Welcome to Provider's Edge, the podcast that helps healthcare entrepreneurs and innovators break down barriers and control their business, life, and future with valuable action steps. With me, your host, Sabrina Runbeck, a recovered clinician and a business deal catalyst. Let's rewrite the rules and create a positive social impact while increasing your profitability.
Hey there, healthcare marketers, and really anybody who owns a business and you are a marketer in its core, besides doing all the sales. Are you ready to take your company's growth to the next level? And I know all of you guys are saying, yes, perhaps we have plenty of leads, plenty of conversation. How can we truly push that to a buyer? That's part of how you educate these people to become a trusted entity with you so they can truly become a supporter or a client or strategic partner. I know you're no stranger to the challenges of standing out in a crowded marketplace. But what if I told you that the secret to success lies in streamlined content creation? Because everybody has been telling me, Sabrina, we do these reports for each subspecialty we help with, for each niche industry. Wow, that's a lot to research and lots to produce. And are people really looking into all the insights or the reports they're giving to them? Or are they just time-consuming things people are not looking for? So how do we really tackle? Yep, you are definitely in the right place. And we wanted to create a system that are focused on high quality, engaging content that you can attract more potential clients that are the right client and doesn't take you forever to convert them. And truly, it's about building trust, giving them the right information in the right dose. Well, no, the attention span is so short. If you're giving them too much information, they might not absorb it, even for those people who are constantly asking questions. And ultimately, is to boost your revenue. And the best part, it doesn't have to be a complicated or time-consuming one. So whether you are a small private practice or a large hospital or pharmaceutical organization, buckle up and get ready to learn some game-changer strategies for growth through content creation. And trust me, your patients, your partners, your end users, and your bottom line, well, thank you. Now, let's talk about what role does content marketing play in healthcare. It is a proactive approach that enables healthcare providers and business owners to leverage digital channel to reach both local and global audience while distinguish themselves from their competitors. And we know, despite how unique you think your solution is, there's always someone with something similar. So what does that mean to be you? It involves creating and sharing informative, engaging, and multimedia type of content. And yay, podcasting. Of course, you guys love listening to podcasts. And some of you has been speaking on podcasts as guests. And another part of you have thought about, wow, okay, if I just speaking on the podcast, it takes a long time for those hosts to publish and edit. And sometimes it's not the best quality. And sometimes they don't even tell you when your episode comes out. Versus having your own podcast, having the right conversation that you can control over seems much more of a better option. Yes, they can all happen. And those can all address the need, interest of your market and your potential clients and even those within your organization to truly build a community. But how do we actually do it more effectively and not just tackle down on the detail to-dos and then not really thinking about how everything can create the true ROI for you? So healthcare brands can establish themselves as trusted entity. If you have thinking about some of the larger brands out there, they stand out. And as a whole entire network, people know them by name. And you can create that as well. It's about creating a community of respected listeners, followers, and people who just are raving fans of you. And that means you have to take your time, be patient, and educate them on the different component of who you are, how you are different from others, and then what you are truly about authentically, and producing valuable, relevant, high quality content for your audience. This in turn helps in capturing research traffic as people seek out health-related information or business building information if you happen to be a consultancy and helping some of the private practice, whether it's educational blog post about managing chronic disease, video content explanation about medical procedure, or infographic on wellness tips. Content marketing bridges the healthcare provider and their target audience. Now, we also know from my experience, a client recently told me that he was invited to be a patient advocate for a large pharmaceutical company. And the end result of that clip was only 6 minutes and it looked amazing, but took them 4 months to produce because how much do they have to review, what they can say, what cannot say, legal wise, it's not just messaging. So I understand some places can be very long, involved process. So we wanted to actually do things simpler and not having to keep rewriting, rechecking for everybody else in there on what you can and cannot do. Additionally, it's essential that healthcare content marketing empowers each organization to educate and engage their audience and build credibility and fostering that long-lasting relationship in an increasingly digital and competitive healthcare landscape. And that's how we can not get drowned out. So why is content marketing important in healthcare? But content marketing efforts holds paramount importance in this industry for several compelling reasons. First and foremost, the ambiguity of Google search engine as a primary source of medical information means that healthcare organizations like yours have an unparalleled opportunity to provide valuable and actionable advices to a wider audience. Even if you think, oh, I'm a brick and mortar, I'm localizing in a specific region, that means you can localize the search in a geographical location. And it doesn't have to be a global audience. However, anybody searches a specific concern that you wrote about that related back to your specialty and the service you're providing can find you in the right way. And we don't really want to speak on every subject under the sun. And that also take a lot more time and energy for you to do that. And we can also be relevant to the local community that you have. Now, for those people who does have telemedicine and wearable a specific product that anybody in any part of the US or the world can get help with, that is even more crucial to be specific and not boil the ocean. With over billion health-related search terms daily, a content marketing strategy will allow you to tap into this demand. Furthermore, healthcare content marketing has various key benefits. It builds trust and showcases the expertise and people behind your organization, and reducing current patient anxiety by providing clear information and answer to questions and capturing local search traffic for long-term lead generation. By offering informative and engaging piece of content, your brand can differentiate themselves from competitors and establish a loyal audience. A high success rate of content marketing in healthcare, as evident based by 99% of survey companies generating positive results, highlights its effectiveness, with a significant percentage reporting moderate to very successful outcome. It's clear that content marketing is a powerful tool for healthcare organizations to connect with their audience and build credibility and drive lasting patient engagement. Now, ultimately, most people that have asked me in our last series of interview and working together has not so much about the front end. Yes, they want to generate more leads and more credibilities into their organization. But another big concern is based on their workflow, how they support their existing clients, how to keep them satisfied and stay in the program so they don't just jump off. Because we know acquiring a new client does cost a lot more time, energy, and effort and money than keeping a client satisfied inside your program. Now you guys are all waiting for this. So what do we do? How can we get started? We believe in creating a whole content generation machine with one critical long piece of content and put you omnipresent in other places that you don't have to really think and redo the work. So where do we get started? Now, number one is optimizing your website, because we can have a really great way to track the visibility and engagement on those particular websites for where people are putting their attention at and how you're engaging with people. Now, we don't want to be a best kept secret. That also means that these audit can also find out why is your ranking authorities not there, and figure out what content has been ranking well for everything you produce, as well as looking at your competitors. How are they ranking with what keyword that perhaps you're missing? Then truly do the research on the list that you should be creating content for. Now, when we work with clients, that's where we start first, because then it does take a few weeks once your audit reports back to actually fix all the problems. So you can be identified much easier for Google to understand. Things that shouldn't be duplicated, things should be very easily built authority. Now, once we have that list, now we can say in the next month or the next quarter, as we're planning content out, what are the key ranking of topics that we should have? Now, our recommendation is depend on your expertise. If you like to write, if you like to speak, if you like to be on camera, and we will do that one piece of long form content. Now, we believe getting people on podcasts, whether it's audio only or video combined, we do recommend the video part because people love visual cues. And that means you can be the one who truly expressively showcase who you are, or the experts within your organization, or also bring in other experts that you truly wanted to have amazing conversation with to continue to deliver value for others. Now, these long pieces of conversation, the transcription can then be optimized, put on your website. Now it's picking up with the right words, and it can also put into a long form, a blog with a specific table of content. So just like this episode, we will have a table of content. Now, our table content is by optimizing healthcare website for search engine. That's step 1. Our table of content for today's episode will have a section on number 1, where we just talk about optimizing healthcare websites for search engine. And then what's next step? Number 2 is once we have that keyword researched, then we can optimize the pages to have more authority. And number 3, now we know exactly what type of content to produce, not creating bunch of work for you, but then people don't even want to engage and record that episode. And number 4, we take those episodes and chop down by this level of table content to leverage social media for healthcare marketing. Because digital marketing does involve different platforms. We need to do also research on where your clients are most likely to be using. Some are, yes, still on Facebook or Instagram. Some younger population might be on TikTok. Some people still use YouTube because it's the second largest search engine. And most people that are B2B business are all on LinkedIn. Now think about where your people are sitting so you can learn the strategy and be able to deploy it on those specific platforms. Or you're at the place that you have a team. Perhaps they're not doing the best. We're happy to have a conversation with them to say what else they can improve so you can take the whole entire system and deploy it with your own team. Now, once those contents created, it's really about continuously to reestablish yourself as an authority. So it's not just that, oh, we have a long blog, we have an audio, we post it, we automatically disseminate it, it's out there. We need to continue to drive engagement and eyeball into those long form content because some people like to read, some people like to watch, some people like to listen. Everyone has a different learning style. Some people are really about combination of doing. So we have to meet people where they're at. Therefore, we have to take each specific topic that you have discussed, wrote about into a separate social media post. And that gives you plenty of content. We usually say each long form content should give you at least 2 weeks of short-term content for both your social platform, your email broadcast, your websites, and anywhere else that you needed to have the content that make most sense for your clients. Now, we also don't recommend, I post this episode, let's just blast people with that episode's information the whole week. That doesn't really help because then sometimes can seem like you're repeating the same thing. So we actually recommend that you drift out for the next few weeks. Some examples such as you have a reel dropped on the day the episode is published. So that less than 60 seconds, very engaging reel that makes sure have your logo, have your brand color, font, have a clear call to action at the end. Then try into a 5-minute summary, a shortcut of that long discussion. Perhaps you host it on your website or on YouTube. And that 5 minutes one then drive to the full episode. So we're dribbling the honeycombs and help people to get to the longer form that they can actually listen the whole thing or read the whole blog when they have the right piece of attention. But we want to capture them up front with this shorter parts of content. And then it's not just real. Some people like to watch it. Some people make sure you have captions on the screen because the majority of content consumed, people are putting it on mute and just watching the caption and the images going. So some things you can also consider is adding some B-rolls relatable, cutting from just side-to-side interview that's stable framework, pretty boring. Even those people do top and down, have a caption in the middle, still not that engaging. And you can then turn into a written, small, short piece of content and perhaps create some pull cards from it and some fun graphic to use. And we're saying that once you start publishing the new content on your website, make sure you do share with your email list. Now you have additional tool to give to them as a nurture campaign. So you're not like someone who got into your email list for let's say a checklist or a really quick video about how to alleviate their back pain, but then you have no idea what you got yourself into once they opt in. That's part of satisfaction, trust building. Once people come into your community, don't ghost them. Continue to create things that they like and also engage with them. We're not robots. We're not just hoping that we publish something and people will just keep picking up the right thing. We have to actually, on social, the growth is truly by engaging with people. That's how we can see on some sites, we have 100% increase on social subscribers because we actively engaging with our target audience and potential audience in this community. That's how we have, on average, some clients linking were able to have on average 80 plus likes and 40, 50 comments on it because people intentionally want to be there and looking forward to the post that they're creating. You want to get to that point, and you don't have to personally write and respond. Actually, when we are building a customized AI system, it can talk and respond for you, or you train your team, your systems on how you write, how you like to speak, and then do it for you. If you truly like to be that authentic and do it yourself, we recommend only do about half hour a day. I typically send personal voice messages for people who send me a personal DM on LinkedIn. And if it's just a quick thing, yes, I will type. But because I love speaking and voice notes does go quicker, much quicker than writing notes. So I typically send voice notes. So for all of you guys out there, if you had a message me request to connect with me, make sure you have a little message so I know where you came from. Otherwise, I might not accept the connection. And if we're already connected, you probably will have heard one of my voice notes besides all the regular communication that I usually get into. Let's go over our overall strategies one more time. Step number 1 is do an audit. What works, what doesn't work on your website. And you should really do this every 6 months. Even you perhaps have an SEO expert, you might want to get a second opinion. Make sure they're doing what they need to do. And number 2 is research. What are the keywords of contents that you already been doing that people love? And if you're truly focused on, you have a huge community on social media, on whichever platform, perhaps get your assistant look through the past few months of posts. Which one got the most likes and comments? And what type of content? How did you deliver it? What is it? Do a KPI analysis. And from the website side, we're also looking into your content ranking visibility as compared to your competitors and figure out the additional keywords that you should be producing content for. Number 3, once we've done the research, is about creating those long form content. We recommend you block out about 2 hours every month and just do your 4 long-term content, whether it is a blog or recording 4 less than 30-minute audio or videos. Number 5, then we go into turning this long-term content into smaller pieces of short-term content. From your transcription of those interviews or solo episode or your content blog, you really should have a brief written down, means a table content in what should be written. So each of those smaller topics become a social post, and each social post will have a short reel or a graphic, a quote card, a PDF slider, and whatever makes sense from the original content. Now you don't also have to continue to get approval on what needs to be said. Especially in healthcare, we understand the quality of content, the validity is so important. So if it starts from you, then all the information are built under this consistent information. Therefore, it's valid. It's who you are in your tone of voice. And we don't have to worry about if it's misrepresenting your brand. Now, that is all done with the caveat of you already have your marketing brand Bible created. Many people I ask, even they're being in business for many years, they have not done that. So what's in the marketing brand Bible? That should have been your company mission statement, vision statement, your value proposition, how you are different from other people. What do you want people to say about you when you're not around? What do you don't want people to say about your company when you're not around? What are the specific demographic, psychographic of your ideal client? And what keep them up at night? What exactly they struggle with? What their desire? If they don't fix their problem, what would happen to them? And all of those need to be in your brand Bible. But not least, you also need to have a detailed brand voice, brand persona, tonality, and what is the specific writing style you need to be there, and how you tend to create a call to action. You don't want to give too many call to action for each post, each email, just one. So what would be some of the important call to action you want people to take action upon? Is that to book a call with you, buy a book, explore your services, your product, go read your blog, go listen to that podcast? Think about all those things as a streamlined way so you can have the Bible. And then doesn't matter if you give to a human writer, a production company, a marketing firm, or using AI, it can produce the exact same way that does not create brand confusion. Seen too many times, people wonder why clients or prospects don't really get what they are offering, or why it takes them so long to help them see the value. It's mostly because you haven't done the boring front end work of creating that brand Bible. If you guys need help, we have some really amazing marketing brand experts that can support you. Happy to introduce you to them. And simply reach out to me, Sabrina Runbeck, on LinkedIn. Now, to measure success of everything, some of my clients had asked, Sabrina, how do I measure true success ROI? Well, it's not really for me to tell you is what is your goal. We have to think about the end goal for you. We have to think about what your goal is. Perhaps you wrote a book on how to help startups to get to a place that they truly have a validated business model and product market fit. Now, your goal is to make sure you sell 100,000 books. Now, that should be the goal. Means, what have we done? Just because we have likes and comments, if it doesn't drive to book sale, then it's not success. So we have to understand what true success means to you. And for some people, the success simply getting as many prospecting calls as possible. And some other people want, well, we already have prospecting calls, but we're not converting. So that means you have the wrong audience. That persona study on your client was not done right. That means your true success is closing. How many clients can you bring into your program and services every month, perhaps? Once you understand that, then we can create trackable, measurable ROIs based on where you're creating content and how they're presented to your prospect and your existing community so they continue to trust you and to be your fans and refer even more people to you. One of the key things is conduct your client survey. Ask people about it on conversations, send out emails, create a simple survey for them to quickly fill out, perhaps just a score 1 to 5. That can help you gather data to know where you needed to create content or where your services need to be improved, or is it delivering the service or background support? However that means. All right, we talked a lot today. Hopefully you guys got the important part. And we can't wait for next week. If you'd like to learn more about these topics, make sure you take a screenshot of wherever you are listening to this podcast and comment on it. I would love to have a conversation on LinkedIn about what you are doing right now for your organization to truly get people to trust you, build that amazing community, because at the end of the day, impact it's not just the amount of money we're creating. It's not just the amount of people we're reaching. It's actually a lot more than that. So a quick thing that you can assess your true company's impact quotient, go to impactquotientquiz.com and see how much you are able to create across all 12 business domains to create the true impact in the world.
Thank you for tuning in to Provider's Edge podcast. We hope you enjoy our latest episode and found the insights and tips helpful. We'd love to hear your feedback on the show and learn what topics you'd like us to cover in the future. So please take a moment to leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform and let us know what you think. Your feedback is essential to help us improve the show and provide you with the content you need to take your healthcare business to the next level. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.